Welcome to the season finale of the Winter Sports Update of the Pioneer Coach Show. With me now of head softball coach Sara Scoone. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So last weekend, Coach, you went 2-1 with against Gannon, WV Tech, IUP. You started out the weekend on Saturday with 2 Mercy Rule wins, 11-2 over Gannon and 14-4 over West Virginia Tech. The offense really showed out. Monica was great all weekend, earned MEC Player of the Week. Delaney Warner came on well as a true freshman. Just your thoughts on the weekend overall?
I thought the weekend overall was a good weekend. It, gives us something that we have now, a foundation we can work to build on that and then work through our mistakes and all sorts of stuff now going into Florida for the next week.
Congratulations. You won.
Were you expecting that type of offense production on the first weekend?
I don't think you ever go into any game expecting things like that. I don't expect... when you go into games, the only thing that I expect is 100% an effort and hustle. I cannot expect any of our players to go 3 for 3 or, okay, today you're going to hit 3 home runs and, that's bare minimum. But they did play well. They came out hot with the bats, and we just have to now keep working forward, make sure that there's no dips along the way that would cost us too much.
And then on Sunday, you lost to IUP. Tough loss. It was 4 total errors that game. From the coaching staff perspective, how do you just get your girls to get past it? I mean, you acknowledge that it happened, but just to learn from it, fix the mistakes, and just get past it. How do you do that with your girls?
That's the big thing. I think you just hit the nail on the head. You definitely have to acknowledge it. You can't just walk away from that and go, okay, well, hopefully it doesn't happen again. Yeah. You learn a lot from a loss, more so than you do from a win. And let's say, in May, if we're still making mistakes like that, well, then we didn't learn from it. So all we can do is keep going forward. Can't look back too much, but you definitely have to work from the mistakes. And, it gives us a better foundation moving forward of where we stand.
And then moving on to this coming week, you'll play 8 games in 5 days. You go down to Florida. Out of these 8 games, what do you expect out of your girls? Because it's a lot of games in a short span.
It is a lot of games. It's, they'll be in the Florida sun. It's a new atmosphere. We're on dirt now instead of our turf field. A lot of changes. But when we go down there, it's a huge week and it's a week that we're able to, let's do some things that we wouldn't get to do in a standard doubleheader. Let's try some more things. Let's give more people at bats, see what we're working with, throw all the pitchers. All I expect from the girls is to give 100% effort, 100% hustle. If they can do that and they can be there for the team in that kind of aspect, then that's all I can ask for, and we will build from that.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this coming week.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. With me, I have head wrestling coach Dylan Cottrell. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, excited to be here and talk a little bit about this past weekend, regionals and NCAAs coming up.
So, this past weekend, you're at the Super Region 3 tournament at West Liberty. You had 5 guys qualify for the national tournament. Just for you as a coach, how does it feel to see all the guys, they put in the work all year for, 5 of your 10 guys to qualify for nationals? How's that feel? Yeah,
I mean, it's awesome when you get to take, half your team, right? Half your starters. Had a chance to take 8, right? We had 3 in the
finished 4th.
Yeah, we had 3 finish 4th in that match, and 2 of them lost, I think, by a point or maybe 2 points. So, I know it's amazing. We talked about this a couple times throughout the year on this, that the model is definitely different for D2, where you just have to be good at one day, right? You got to be peaked. You got to be ready to go. We were definitely peaked, right? Our guys were peaked mentally. We harped on it all week that you got to trick yourself, right? Talked about a little bit of neuroplasticity, right? Of how easy it is to change those brain, right? Those fire into your brain on, hey, this is who I am. This is what I want to be. Positive self-talk, right? Every day, got to make sure that you're telling yourself, I'm the best in the country, right? I'm the best in the country. Writing down, hey, 133-pound national champ, right? So a lot of that week was mental, getting them ready and making sure that they believed as much as me and Coach Andrietta did that they're the best in the country, right? Physically, we're going to be there, right? I told them, shoot, when they got recruited here, I promise you're going to be the best shape of your life, right? You're never going to have to worry about that. I'll do my job, you do yours, it'll come together as a really good product. But yeah, I mean, special moments, right? We were talking a little bit before this about, that semifinal round, we go 5 for 5. And then Nick Johnson, right? He wins to go to the tournament over a kid who he lost to 2 weeks ago, got majored. I think he lost like 11-2, right? And then Gavin Shamlin, our one senior, right, who's starting, wow, what an amazing moment. I think that's the first time I've cried in my career as a coach, right? I had to go back and kind of give myself 5 minutes and get away from it for a minute. Just a special kid, and he's got so much better. And he beat someone, I think he's lost to him 4 times in his career, never beat him, right? And that's another one on the mental, right? Right before the match, I'm behind him talking to him, and, I tell him, hey, you're better than this kid, right? You're better than this kid. Like, go out there and prove it, And I just think the guys really bought into what we were selling this year as a team. Again, another thing we've talked about is that this team has, I felt, wrestled above of what I thought they were going to be, and that's great. That's amazing, honestly. So, yeah, super proud of the guys. They deserve it. They are a hardworking group, right? And I think the toughness. I think that Ashland loss, right, was the best thing for us of the year.
Yeah,
where we just had to realize, hey, we got to get tougher right now. There ain't no time. We got 2.5 weeks, right? Like, yeah, you guys are sick, right? But it doesn't matter. They don't care. No one cares. They're not going to care at regionals if you're sick, right? And we got to stop making excuses, right? When, our big toe hurts or our knee, we got to stop making excuses and figure it out. And that's exactly what they did. So I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, because you had 5 guys qualify. You mentioned 3 others got 4th. You almost won it as a team. I mean, we talked after that you finished 3rd, but I mean, you were in the lead there for a little bit. Were you expecting that, to almost win it as a team?
So, to be honest, as a coach, it's not even like the MEC. It's not something that I'm really looking at through the day. Obviously, at the end of the day, if we win it, that's
great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love that. That'd be great. And we were dang close to doing it. I mean,
6 points off.
We were leading for most of the day, to be honest. And if you look back on it, on the backside, we lost a match where we were winning by 7 points. We lost it on a couple big moves, right? And then we lost an overtime match on the backside. If we win those 2 matches, we win the tournament by 2.5 points.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost the tournament, right, by whatever the point scheme was on the team, but we lost the tournament by 2 actual points in wrestling matches. Mm-hmm. That's how crazy the backside is and how close it was. Like, it was a heck of a 3-team race between Ashland, us, and West Liberty. To be honest, West Liberty had a really, really good backside round, which brought them back in it. They were pretty far back the whole day. Ashland was very consistent and up there with us. So for most of the day, it was us and Ashland going back and forth. But yeah, we were predicted 6th all year, right? And if I'm being honest, it felt pretty disrespected in the fact that we got continuously vote, because we do regional rankings, but it's done by 2 of the coaches in the region. And then, they do the individuals and it pops out to a composite. I think the highest we were all year was 5. We definitely never got to 4, but most of the year we were 6th. So like, obviously our peers thought we were 6th.
It's nice to be able to say, hey,
I felt very disrespected on the fact of it. Right. Yeah. But it is what it is. And we showed again, who we are, and, that not just doesn't really matter that we're just here in this small town in Glenville, right? We can produce some dang good athletes and get the job done. So yeah, like I said, I was proud of the guys, man. They showed up, and I don't think there was nerves, which was nice either. We talked about that a lot, about going out and just competing, and that a lot of other people today, the thing on their mind would be success and failure, right? And it has nothing to do with wrestling, right? We can't judge ourselves off of results. We judge ourselves off how we compete. So we had that talk right before. I don't care about success and failure, right, per se today. I care about how you compete, and you're going to care about how you compete at the end of this, right? So don't be the guy that 7 o'clock tonight's like, dang, I had way more in the tank and I didn't let it go, right? Be the guy that, okay, yeah, I came up short, but I left it all out there. Yeah. You're going to feel a lot better about that all postseason, all, going into next year that, hey, I left it out there and I really went for it. And that's a really good feeling to have. And I truly think all 10 of our guys can say that.
And then for the 5 guys that did qualify, what's the weeks, leading up to nationals? What's that look like for them training wise?
Well, we got 2 a day today. So this week's going to be tough, right? Like this is going to be probably their most intense week they've had all year. So yeah, we're going to, I don't say beat down the body, but kind of, right, of the fact that it's more so preparing the body, right, for what's ahead, right? And then Saturday we'll do another 2 a day. Wednesday we have 2 a day as well. We'll hit some sprints and stuff, some lifting this week. So this week's going to be tough. Sunday we take off. Monday we start our taper again, right, of the same thing we've done for MEC and for this. It's worked well. The guys like it. And then, so then next week it's, you got travel. You got to, we'll leave here Tuesday, go stay in a hotel. We'll fly out Wednesday and then get out there and try to start acclimating as fast as possible, right? And get those guys in the arena, right? To see beforehand what it's going to be like. Get them practicing around in the arena. Get them,
get them comfortable.
And then it's start enjoying it, right? Go getting some food and hanging out and kind of getting all that anxiety and all the trip out of them, and letting them kind of get comfortable and get ready to go. At the same time, focus up, but make sure that we're enjoying it. Yeah. So got them in a nice hotel, put them up in this nice 4-star Hyatt. So we're going to be sleeping in some great beds and just hanging out. So it's going to have a hot tub, all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a nice little experience for them. Hang out, and then hopefully some more great results from the guys. So yeah.
Well, Coach, big congrats on this past weekend, and we appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. With me, I have head men's basketball coach Bob Bolen. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Jagger, great to be here.
So, Coach, this past week went 1-1. Started out the week against the 10th-ranked team in the country, Charleston, on Wednesday. Lost 89-73. It was a 5-point game at halftime. Second half, UC kind of pulled away. Just your thoughts on that game.
Well, we played really well early. And they just hit that run in the second half, and we weren't able to come back from it. They're a good team.
Yeah.
I think we proved that we can play right with them. And, one of those games, we were right there, and then it got away from us.
And then the script kind of flips against Concord on Saturday. It's a 1-point game at halftime. You outscore them 50-32 in the second half. That same thing, Charleston goes on a run on you in the second half. But against Concord, you go on a 19-3 run from about the 8-minute mark to the 2-minute mark. What kind of changed, in the game against Concord?
Well, I'll tell you, it's probably the first game in 2.5 months that Jalen Johnson's been healthy.
Yeah, that helps too.
Yeah, he had a bad knee, then he had turf toe, and then
concussions, right?
2 concussions, and he finally had a good week and a half of practice, and I thought he was able to come in and give us a huge lift. Even when he was playing a month ago, he was battling turf toe and just didn't look like himself. And I guess with the concussions, he had to stay off his legs, and his knee and toe were able to heal. And I thought he gave us a big lift defensively, and just his leadership and the way he plays the game. I thought he gave us a big lift. I thought Gus came in.
Gus played really well too.
Yeah, gave us a huge lift there. And we were able to control the last 8 minutes and run the shot clock down and able to hit some shots. And I thought defensively, I think you said it was a 19-3 run there at the end. And I thought our guys just really rose to the occasion. They beat us really badly at Concord on the boards, and it was a 2-point rebounding game this time. So I thought that was a huge difference in the 2 games.
Is this a confidence booster going into the tournament? Because all year, we talked about it before. You're able to play with the top teams of the league, but you were never able to get past that hump of beating them. Now you've beat one. A regionally ranked team, probably going to make the NCAA tournament. Is that a big confidence booster going into the tournament now?
I would hope so, but then we're opening up with Frostburg, and we've beaten them twice. But then when you look at it, next to last game of the season, they're tied with 4 minutes left against D&E, who beat us twice.
Yeah.
And the difference in these teams in this conference, there's not a 10-point difference between number 1 and number 11. All these 10, I've told our guys all year, it's how we play. And, we have to come out and play a really good game against Frostburg. So that's step one. Hopefully we have some confidence going in, and we'll develop a game plan, and we'll stick to it. And hopefully we can play well against Frostburg.
Yeah, because you mentioned you opened up with Frostburg in the 7-10 game in the opening round. But I wanted to ask you, what's it going to take, to make a run in this tournament? Because like we talked before, this conference is just so tough. What's it going to take to make a run?
Well, we're going to have to get consecutive stops defensively, and something we've struggled at times to do. And I think that's a big key. And then, offensively, we're usually pretty confident, and I don't worry about that near as much as being consistent defensively and rebounding the basketball. If we do those two things and limit our turnovers.
Yeah.
If we can do those three things, I think we have the ability to score. And, then it just becomes, a battle of how tough you are night in and night out, if you're able to play consecutive games. And all of those things come into play. But, I think we have a group of guys that'll go down there and be focused and be ready for the challenge.
Yeah, the pieces are definitely there. But, Coach, we appreciate you coming on today, and good luck this week.
Thank you, Jagger.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coaches Show. With me now, I have head acrobatics and tumbling coach Taylor Broadwater. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
So this past weekend, you went to Trine all the way out in Indiana, beat them 261 to 229. You set 12 season highs, and you were able to gain a lead early on and just hold it on for the rest of the day. Just your thoughts on the win.
It was definitely a good win for us to get back there, but I think the biggest thing yesterday was the confidence in the girls, and just they were very relaxed when they were out on the mat. They had fun the entire day. Yes, we made mistakes yesterday, but at the end of the day, they did what I asked, and we cleaned up some events that we've really been working on, and we just had a good day. It was fun.
How was the experience, going out to Indiana? Because it's not like, 7-8 years ago where there's acro teams, you got to go to Hawaii, you got to go to California. It's kind of more, regionally now. So how was the experience going all the way out there to compete?
It was a great experience. It was definitely good to go up against a team like that, just kind of to gain our confidence back. But Trine was a good team. They're definitely improving and getting better each meet. I think that yesterday was good, though, just so the girls could kind of settle their nerves and do what they know how to do. We went out on the mat and they executed. Yes, little things here and there still, but it kind of shows us the direction we're headed in and what we need to fix and just kind of where we stand. But I think scores yesterday helped them mentally and just prove that, we've been working really hard and it finally showed off.
Yeah, because I wanted to ask you, does it seem like the win came at the right time? Because you'd had 2 losses in a row, nationally ranked team. So, not bad losses, but kind of just get your girls back, the confidence back. Because, the scores are where you wanted. You're back in the 260s now. Did the win come at the right time?
It definitely did. That was something that really helped us yesterday. I could tell just on the ride home yesterday. Obviously, it was a long ride, but the girls were in great moods. It was a fun trip home. They had a lot to say, and they finally, I think, see, the hard work paying off and just knowing that, hey, we can work a little bit harder and we can improve some tumbling start values. We can work on cleaning up our acros and being a little bit more confident there. But I think overall that they were very happy with their performance and seeing the bigger picture now. And yeah, we still got half a season left, so it really came at a great time just to continue to improve.
And you had a lot to be happy with this past weekend, 12 season highs. But when you look back, especially like we talked about, getting the win at the right time, what are you most happy with this past weekend?
I would definitely have to say our pyramid round. Not very often will you go almost perfect, and we went 29.7 out of 30 possible points.
That was really good.
Definitely an event that I'm extremely proud of. We really put in the work on consistency and confidence and cleaning up little things here and there. I feel that we've had good pyramids at every meet for the most part. We've made little errors, but I felt like our scores weren't really showing what we were putting on the floor. So we just worked this week on cleaning it up and doing exactly what the judges want to see, fixing things that maybe we didn't necessarily agree with, but looking at those deductions, we had to improve. We had to get better. So that's something yesterday they really went out, executed. And at the end of the day, yes, I love the scores, but there was nothing that made yesterday better than watching the reaction on their faces after hearing those 995s back to back like that.
Well, next week when we have you on, we'll talk about the tri-meet that you're going to have with Kutztown and Bluefield State. But, congrats on this past weekend, and we appreciate you coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pioneer Coach Show. With me now, Director of Pioneer Media, Draven Gibson. Draven, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Jagger. So we've got a couple of coaches that couldn't make it today on our last episode of the Winter Sports Update. Let's start in with women's basketball.
Yeah, so women's basketball this past week, a tough week. The last 2 home games of the year fell to Charleston on Wednesday, 74-64, and Concord on Saturday, 80-75. Concord, it was a great game. Almost came back late Had a chance to tie it with about 11 seconds left, couldn't convert. And with that, they came into the day 5th, fell to 7th, so they'll play on Wednesday against Notre Dame College, a team they split with this year. They beat them on the road, fell at home a few weeks back. But 18-10 for the regular season, 11-9 in the league for first-year head coach Emily Stoller.
Yeah, super respectable record for a first-year head coach. She has a ton to be proud of. Moving forward, we've got baseball. They're on the road this week. They play UNC Pembroke on March 5th, and then they have the Wilson Tobbs Classic on starting on the 7th.
Yeah, so baseball this past weekend, before we get into the new week, they were against Tiffin, split the series, 4-game series, split on Saturday and Sunday. Lost game 1 on Saturday, took game 2, had 12 hits, 11 runs in game 2. Then on Sunday, an exciting 2 games, really. First one, down by a run going into the final inning, down to actually to their final out. Zach Morris gets a single, then Fabian Escalante hits it to the road to walk it off. Very exciting game. Such
an incredible home run.
Ask Coach Skiles about it. If you want to see the video, just go over to GSU Baseball on Instagram or Twitter. You'll get plenty of Coach Skiles with that. And then the second game was another loss, 7-4. It's a tough game. Tiffin, played really well. The bats came alive for them. And like you mentioned, Pembroke on Tuesday, tough team, nationally ranked earlier in the year. They're receiving votes right now. And then when we go to the Wilson Tobbs College Classic in Wilson, North Carolina, Clarion, already seen them once this year. Took 2 out of 3 against them, and then Wheeling, as odd as it may seem, conference opponent, will be non-conference games on Saturday and Sunday.
We want to thank you all so much for listening to the Winter Sports Update. It's been a great 10-episode run. Catch us next week as we transition into the Spring Sports Update. For now, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.